Simply put, the FIB tool tells you where to get in and where to get out. Okay. And so what I did was deploy at the lowest point on the chart because that is the most recent low. And I want to see if the sequence is complete. Basically, has there been a take profit? So we had a low back in September of 22 at 159, right? And so we had a high that formed in December of 22. And then we had a pullback, 38.2 pullback. So theoretically, based off of this FIB tool, this told me red means that take profit should be at red. Blue means take profit should be at blue. Green means take profit should be at green. And black means take profit should be at black. Hello, I hope y'all are doing well. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at GBP odd. I know I'm a couple days late, y'all. It has been absolutely insane over here in the Jackson household. There is a lot going on, so I apologize for the delay. For those of you guys who are new to the channel, my name is Casey Jackson, Registered Commodity Trading Advisor, and I'm going to take a look at GBP odd today. And what I'm going to do is a multiple time frame analysis. Now, a multiple time frame analysis is simply an analysis where you go through, you look at each time frame and how price reacts to different levels on each of those time frames. And so what I do is I go through and I'm looking for the areas where price reversed in the past because that tells me something about what might happen moving forward. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm doing it on the monthly chart, which means that each candle on this chart is a month's worth of information. And then once I finish that, I go through each level until I get down to the 4 hour to figure out those key levels where price has the potential to reverse. Okay. So now I've done that. I'm going through the weekly. I am going to do the same thing that I just did. I'm looking for those areas where price has a potential to reverse, and I'm looking for swing highs and swing lows. If you don't know what a swing high or a swing low is, I strongly encourage you to go ahead and stop by the no-cost mini course. You can find the link in the video description so that you can be on the same page that I am when I'm talking through these analyses. So, okay, I've done the weekly and I've identified a level here. I got a level down here and I don't think I see any more. I'm going to pull out my smart support and smart resistance tool to ensure that I've gotten the levels, and it looks like I have. If you're interested in utilizing the software that I'm using, you can find the information is smarttrader.com. You can go check it out there. Okay. So I am going to delete this. I'm going down to the daily and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm looking for those areas where price has reacted in the past because it gives me insight as to what may happen moving forward. And so I've got a level right here. I'm going to change this color. We're going to put it to red. And let's see, I got another level right here. We'll bring this down. And then we got a level here as well. Oh yeah, I'm so hungry. It's not even funny. I don't know if y'all follow me on social, but it's been about 8 weeks since I started this new healthy lifestyle. And all the things I love, I can't have. All the things that make me feel super full, I can't have. But one thing that I can say is that since starting this new lifestyle, new way of eating, I feel a lot better. I sleep amazing. Like, it's not even funny how good I'm sleeping. I didn't know that diet and like what you eat impacts how you sleep. That was news to me. But it's been great thus far. So let me stop talking junk. Okay, so I'm going to go to the 4 hours now that I've done that. And typically I stop at the 4 hour because I like the longer setups than I do the shorter ones. And that's just me, what I prefer, you know, given my lifestyle, given all that I have to do. I'm kind of busy. I can't sit at the chart. It's just not physically possible for me to do with the type of job that I have. To be at the charts all day. And I don't knock anybody who does do that. Like, that works for you. That works for you. It just doesn't work for me. So I like those longer setups where I can plan on the weekend, and then I can set my limits and my stops and then go about my business and be done. Let me make sure I just hit this right. Yeah, I think I did. So what I'm going to do, I like to do this by eyeball first and then go through and use the systems tools to determine if my analysis is correct. So I'm going to turn on my smart support. And I missed the obvious level right here. Thank God for the machine. All right. And so it didn't pick this one up. I added an extra one, but everything else looks good. So I'm good there. So I'm going to turn this off. And then I want to check and make sure that I've hit all of the resistance levels. So I am going to do this. And I missed a couple because there's a double there. There is another one here. And then we got this one. So I think I'm good here. So now on the 4 hour, now I'm not going to go any lower and look at any more support and resistance because of what I just explained to y'all here, right? So I'm going to go back to the month. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to look and see where we are in the fib sequence. And so I'm going to go grab my smart fib. I'm going to click below the last low and I'm going to see where we are. So you see this fib over here. Well, let me back up. I'm a heavily based fib trader for those of you guys who don't know, right? So between Fibonacci retracement, Fibonacci extension, a trend line, key levels of support and resistance, that's how I determine how I'm going to approach the market. And so now that I've identified all the lines on the chart, I know some of y'all be like, ooh, this is too much. I can't tell what's happening. Just be patient with me. We're going to drill down and we're going to frame things out so you can kind of see how it is that I go about figuring this stuff out. So I'm on the monthly chart, which means that for every candle, it's a month's worth of price action in that candle. And so the reason I start out on the higher time frame is because it gives me insight into what's happening overall on the bigger picture. You know, sometimes we get so caught up in those smaller moves that when price changes, we're like, what happened? Why did this happen? Well, the higher time frame is going to tell you why price moves the way it moves. So I've used my smart Fibonacci tool. Now you can use TradingView Fibonacci, but you have to do it manually. This information is proprietary to this company as far as the smart fib. I like the smart fib tool, but if you're just starting out with Fibonacci, I think it's a good idea to use this in combination with the manual Fibonacci tool so that you can study and understand how fibs are deployed. You'll see it's a combination of both retracement levels and extension levels. So simply put, the fib tool tells you where to get in and where to get out. Okay. And so what I did was deploy at the lowest point on the chart because that is the most recent low. And I want to see if the sequence is complete. Basically, has there been a take profit? So we had a low back in September of 22 at 159, right? And so we had a high that formed in December of 22. And then we had a pullback, 38.2 pullback. So theoretically, based off of this fib tool, this told me red means that take profit should be at red. Blue means take profit should be at blue. Green means take profit should be at green, and black means take profit should be at black. So this pulled back to a red level. So take profit is at a red level. And you'll see over here, a year later, we hit that from the pullback, right? And so what happens when that happens? Price is going to retrace and then start the sequence over again. So as it stands right now, this is the active sequence right here. Right? We've had a pullback. I don't think it's quite hit the 50% fib level just yet. I'm going to click on the candle just to see. The low was 85869 and the fib is 8594. So yeah, it did. It hit the 50% pullback level. So theoretically, if price is going to continue to the upside, then my take profit is going to be 2166. But you got to remember that this is the monthly chart, which means that it could take months for price to reach up there. Now, this information alone does not give you much to work off of. Like, how do you capitalize on what's happening right now? So now that I've gotten that information, what I want to do is I want to go ahead. I want to go down to the weekly. I want to see what's happening on the weekly with my FIB. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if I get the same FIB deployment, that's fine. But the thing to remember off of the monthly chart is that we hit a take profit. We hit a take profit. We made a key level at the monthly resistance. And so my thought is my bias right now is likely going to be to the downside because we have to retrace on that higher time frame. So this FIB essentially tells us the same thing that the higher FIB told us. This is the active FIB right now, but we hit a D extension. So I'm not primarily interested in what's happening to the upside right now. We see that price has been moving to the downside since August of last year, and that's my interest is to the downside. So what I want to do on the weekly, I'm going to deploy my Fibonacci tool from the highest point and my D extension based off of where price has pulled back. So recently, price has been playing at this 618 level, which is also a weekly resistance level. It hasn't quite made the move from there yet, but my thought is if we get this correction, we should see price come back to 182, 1817 area. And this is on the higher time frame. Again, like, what does this tell you? How do you take advantage of what's going on right now? Cool your horses. I'm gonna get there. Okay. So we see that, price formed this high in 23, formed a low in September of 23, kind of pulled back to the 38.2, and then started pressing its way down. Price didn't have enough momentum to make this drop of, price didn't have enough momentum to make the drop. Let's call it 1,000 pips from where, that 38.2. And actually, let's not call it, let's actually measure it. So from that 38.2 level, I was right. 1,100 pips, right? So 1,100 pips, there was not enough momentum for price to finish out what it has started. So we see that it went for a deeper retracement at the 61.8. So my thought is, like I said again, that the move is here, right? So price has played off of this key level of resistance. And my thought is that we're going here. So I'm going to delete this and I'm gonna go down to the daily because now I got to figure out, like, this is great, right? This is great, Casey, but how do I get into what's happening right now, right? So because our interest is to the downside, I'm going to take my FIB. I'm gonna deploy it from the last high because I want to see what I got going on here. Okay. So it's the pretty much same setup. Your take profit is just going to be closer at 184, just below 185. But yeah, you could take that longer trade, but you probably want to break it up just so you don't have to deal with the ebbs and the flows of the market. So I'm going to delete this. And actually, I think I'm going to go back to the higher time frame to show y'all something that I'm looking at too. So we looked at the FIB, but why my bias is to the downside on this pair too is because I'm gonna click below the last low. I'm going to put my trend line tool on here, and I see that price has broken on the weekly. So on the higher time frame, price has broken to the downside, and we've kind of stayed below this 195 level. And so it is my thought that this is part of the reason that we're going to see price continue to the downside for that correction. What I also want to show you is that on this time frame, when I click and deploy my Fibonacci tool, you can look and see that this D extension to the downside, so that green line where we targeted based off of the FIB analysis on this time frame too, aligns perfectly with the 618 retracement level and also daily support. Right? So a key strong level of support. Now, we can't ignore that at the 50% FIB level, we've got a weekly level of support as well. We've also got a monthly level also. So these are key to think about. It will be something big as far as a catalyst to push price to react that way. So either with the Great British Pound becoming weaker than the Australian dollar, or something happening with the Australian dollar to give it the strength needed in order to push down. Okay, so I'm going to delete this FIB. We're going to drill down because we're on the weekly, right? I'm going to get rid of this trend line because I've seen what I need to see. And now we're going to go down to the daily. We're trying to figure out how do we take advantage of what's happening now, right now. So what I see is I'm going to deploy my FIB tool here. So this is done. So what I'm looking at, let me tell y'all what I'm looking at. I deployed my FIB because I wanted to see what happened if we've hit a D extension, what's going on right now. So we had an A high, we had a B low, price pulled back to, it looks like the 786. Let me just confirm. The high was 5061, so it hit the 786 retracement level. And so the take profit level was going to be here, 191960. We broke below the 4-hour level of resistance, and price came back, retested this area again before trying to make its way down. So we've spent a little bit of time in this zone just bouncing back and forth. I am trying to get my thing on here to my mouse to delete this fib, but I'm gonna go ahead and just remove it manually. All right. And so what I want to see now, what we got going on the daily, we already know we broke into the downside, in my opinion. I am going to deploy my fib from the highest point and then see what I got going on, because my interest is to the downside. Okay, so this fib has completed, right? That's why it's not lit up. A high, B low, less than a 618 pullback. It did not finish, and then it went back, tested that 786. We took profit here, and then price came back, right? So what we've got forming right now, we have an A high, a B low, and looking at structure, ideally the perfect place of entry would have been here at this level, in between 1947 and 195. You see price even push back up to test this area first. What I'm interested in and looking at this fib, let me make this smaller, is I see looking at structure. And so when I say structure, I'm talking about these key levels of support and resistance that we draw. Looking at this, I see the potential for price to push up to this 4-hour level, reject potentially, and stall out right around this 118-127. So a lot of times when price is being pushed like so forcefully to one side, there's not enough momentum for it to come back to retest before continuing. Y'all know the market moves in waves. It does not move straight up and straight down. And so we've got this 4-hour level here. So what we could see is price reject off that 4-hour level, find support at 189, and then push, spike up, and complete. That's one option, right? The other option is that we could see price just go on and push up for a deeper retracement. Now, looking at structure, we could have, and I'm just looking left. Let me get rid of this because I already showed y'all what I wanted to show y'all with that. So looking at structure, and again, when I say structure, key areas where price has found support or resistance in the past. We've already identified this level as a potential level where price could reverse. And looking at this again, I see a level here that price could push up to before reversing. So the opportunity that I'm interested in, would I take a sell at this point? No. Price is too low. Would I take a sell off this 23.6 pullback? No. Price is too low, in my opinion, right? Now, if you want to live on the wild side, that's you. And you could take this for a potential 200 pips or so. But I would like a higher price. So what I will likely do is we've identified like the 618. Let me delete this. So you have to develop your own rules, how you enter. I like taking trades at least off the 38.2, or ideally the best point of entry for me is going to be that 618. That's what we call the sweet spot. But if I see a good setup and I've got a low risk, I will take the 38.2. So I'm going to delete this. What I'm interested in is a potential buy opportunity. And this is off the 4-hour chart. So I'm going to draw, let me see. I'm going to draw from the last high to the next high. Right? And then right now, what we have, this is what price is giving us. It looks like it's crossing above, but I'm not sold on this cross for a long-term move to the upside. But I will play what I see. My thought is that we're probably going to see price reject. So either we're going to see price reject off this 4-hour level, or we may see price spike up and hit that 38.2 and then continue down to finish out the sequence. So if we do get that spike up, I would be interested in a small position to the D extension on the 4-hour. A small position. And that's too long. All right. Yep, so I would be interested in that move there, but my thought is what we're probably going to see is we're probably going to see some sort of high form over here. That's my thought. And then I'll be waiting to see how price reacts right in here in this zone. And then on the lower time frame, I'll be looking for my potential buy opportunity. And I can map that out and show you what I'm looking for. We're going to get rid of this. So we already said that price likely, well, not likely, could reject, because I can't predict the market. If I could, I'd be a millionaire, y'all. But what I'm going to be looking for, I'm going to go down to the hour. And I'm going to draw. I typically don't go this low, but for the sake of making sure y'all understand what it is I'm doing. No. What I want to see is I want to see price approach and then potentially drop to this zone here. And then I want to see, and if we do find some level of resistance at this area, eventually a trend line will form. And on the lower time frame, I want to see some bullish movement to the upside. And you can even go down to the 15 to get a tighter entry. And then I want to see the move to the upside, at least to the 38.2. But I could see, looking at structure, how it could potentially go higher and form a level of resistance. So if this were to play out, the move to the upside could be for at least 350 pips. That's best case scenario. If we play it conservatively and based off of the break, based off the higher time frame break, based off the 38.2, I think you've got at least 200 pips on the table up for grabs. So I'm not doing anything right now. I'm watching. I'm going to set my trap, as I like to say. So draw out my trend lines, wait and see on the lower time frame what I'm seeing. But this is definitely on my radar to watch because it's a potential big move. Let me know what you guys are thinking about GBP odd in the comments below. If this video has been helpful to you, please go ahead, give it a thumbs up. If you're looking for more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. And then if you're like, Casey, I like the way that you trade, I want to know more, consider joining my no-cost forex Facebook mastermind group. I try to pop in there as often as I can, provide different trades that I'm looking up and potential setups and whatnot. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Let me know how you're playing GBP AUD, okay? I will see you on the next video, and I hope you have a rest of the phenomenal week. See y'all soon. Bye.